Minasan ohayo gozaimasu. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow scholars, students, welcome to the online seminar series on Japanese studies in Southeast Asia. My name is Fatia, and I am honored to be your MC for today's session. This event is proudly presented by Center for Japanese Studies Universitas Indonesia and Faculty of Humanities Universitas Indonesia, with the support by the Japan Foundation. This online seminar is held as the part of the International Japanese Studies Research Workshop and Symposium 2026, a program that is dedicated to exploring how studies with relation to Japan are practiced across Southeast Asia. This seminar series is held monthly and invites scholars from various universities in the region to share their research, perspective, and insight. Our aim is to showcase the diverse trends, methodologies, and scholar approach shaping the Japanese studies in Southeast Asia context. All the while, we also hope to nurture cross-border dialogue and strengthen academic collaboration among research, students, and institutions in the region. International Japanese Studies Research Workshop and Symposium 2026 consists of three main components. The ongoing research workshop held at the Center for Japanese Studies University Indonesia since the beginning of April, this monthly online seminar series, and an international symposium scheduled for August 4th until 5th, 2026 at the Faculty of Humanities Universitas Indonesia. Together, these events aim to foster regional academic engagement and promote the growth of Japanese studies in Southeast Asia. We are truly delighted to have you with us today, whether you are a scholar, a student, or simply passionate about Japanese studies. So, let's make the most of this opportunity to connect, learn, and grow together. Without further ado, let us begin today's session. Before we go into our main agenda, let us first get to know about the organization who have collaborated to make today's event possible. So let us watch the profile video of the Center of Japanese Studies Universitas Indonesia and the Faculty of Humanities Universitas Indonesia.
Minasan konnichiwa. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Center for Japanese Studies, or in Indonesian, Pusat Studi Jepang at Universitas Indonesia. Since our founding in 1995, we have been committed to deepening the mutual understanding between Indonesia and Japan through research, academic exchange, and collaborative programs. Today, with a renewed vision, we focused on three main pillars: academic activities, cultural interactions, and community services. With this broader mission, we aim to foster not only academic connections between Indonesia and Japan, but also wider cultural exchanges with communities beyond by sharing our passion for Japanese studies. We warmly invite you to join us on this journey through meaningful collaboration and shared commitment to cross-cultural understanding. Let's work together to build a more connected future. 一緒に頑張りましょう。
Established in 1995, PSJUI was founded as a center dedicated to advancing Japanese studies in Indonesia. Over the years, PSJUI has contributed to academic exchange, cultural understanding, and interdisciplinary research related to Japan. In 2018, PSJUI entered a new phase through its status as a special work unit under Universitas Indonesia, strengthening its institutional role and expanding its capacity for public engagement and international collaboration. Since 2023, PSJUI has reaffirmed its vision and mission to become a leading professional and independent institution that actively contributes to education, research, and society. Our activities are built upon three main pillars: academics, cultural interaction, and community engagement. Through these pillars, PSJUI aims to create meaningful connections between Indonesia and Japan while encouraging collaboration across disciplines and communities. We believe that Japanese studies is not only about understanding Japan, but also about building dialogue, knowledge, and shared experiences. Throughout the years, PSJUI has organized a wide range of academic and cultural programs. These include international conferences, public lectures, research workshops, book discussions, scholarship information sessions, academic symposiums, and collaborative seminars exploring contemporary issues related to Japan and Indonesia. PSJUI also actively promotes cultural interaction through programs focusing on Japanese literature, popular culture, music, language, culinary culture, and cross-cultural exchange. In addition, we support students and young professionals through educational programs, career preparation initiatives, and international academic opportunities connected to Japan. Many of these activities are made possible through collaboration with universities, governmental institutions, cultural organizations, educational partners, companies, and professional networks from both Indonesia and Japan. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all partners and collaborators who continue to support PSJUI and contribute to the growth of Japanese studies in Indonesia. To support academic and cultural activities, PSJUI provides various facilities designed to encourage learning, discussion, and collaboration. These facilities include an auditorium, classrooms, meeting rooms, discussion spaces, and the PSJUI library. With collections in Japanese, English, and Indonesian, the library offers access to books, journals, research materials, and digital archives related to Japanese studies and broader interdisciplinary topics. The library serves not only as an academic resource center, but also as a shared space where students, researchers, and the wider community can exchange ideas and knowledge. As part of our commitment to community engagement, PSJUI continues to make its facilities accessible for educational, academic, and cultural activities involving both the university community and the public. For decades, PSJUI has continued to grow as a center for Japanese studies that contribute to knowledge production, as well as international collaboration and exchanges. Thank you for being part of our journey. Together, let us continue building stronger international connections through Japanese studies.
Universitas Indonesia is the best campus in Indonesia and one of the leading academic institutions in the world with the highest achievement in discovery, development, and diffusion of the humanities globally.
Sejalan dengan visi dan misi Universitas Indonesia, Fakultas Ilmu Pengetahuan Budaya Universitas Indonesia senantiasa menghasilkan manusia berkualitas yang memiliki kompetensi dan komitmen untuk kemajuan kebudayaan. FIB-UI menjadikan kebudayaan sebagai investasi untuk membangun masa depan dan peradaban bangsa demi terwujudnya tujuan nasional sebagaimana diamanatkan Pancasila dan Undang-Undang Dasar 1945.
The faculty was originally named Fakultas Sastra or the Faculty of Letters Universitas Indonesia when it was established in 1940. In its development, the Faculty of Letters also studied cultural sciences and humanities. Thus, since 2002, its name was changed into Fakultas Ilmu Pengetahuan Budaya or the Faculty of Humanities or FIB for short, Universitas Indonesia. Academically, FIB-UI also contribute to Universitas Indonesia's achievement in the 2023 QS World University Rankings by subject. In arts and humanities, FIB-UI ranks first in Indonesia and fifth in Southeast Asia. Meanwhile, for modern languages, it ranks among the 200 highest institutions in the world. Similarly, in the 2024 Times Higher Education World University Rankings or the WAR by subject in arts and humanities, FIB-UI ranks first in Indonesia and ranks 401 from 500 in the world. FIB-UI is also committed to making the campus environment free from corruption, collusion, and nepotism through the Universitas Indonesia Zone Integrity Award and achieving a green sustainable campus through the UI Green Metric World University Rankings. As an internationally leading educational and research institution under the 7 departments studying the humanities in FIB-UI, we have study programs ranging from undergraduate programs, master's degree programs, and doctoral programs. The undergraduate program aims to prepare students to become intellectuals or scientists who are able to develop themselves into professionals. The objective of the master's degree program is to create competent scientists with the ability to develop and apply the humanities. The doctoral program aims to produce graduates capable of contributing to the development and application of knowledge, technology, art, and culture to solve national problems as well as advance human civilization. The graduate programs of FIB-UI always become the best talent center with the teaching staff who have professional or competency certification as well as experience as practitioners.
Belajar di program studi Indonesia dan program studi sastra Jawa FIB-UI membuat kami semakin memahami dan memiliki sudut pandang baru dalam kajian bahasa nasional dan daerah. Hal ini membuat kami selalu berusaha untuk melestarikan dan memperkenalkan khasanah budaya negara kita.
Dalam perkuliahan di program studi berbasis bahasa asing, kami tidak hanya mempelajari bahasa, sastra, sejarah, dan kebudayaan negara lain, tetapi juga menumbuhkan kepekaan dan kemampuan dalam mengkaji berbagai gejala budaya, sehingga akan membekali kami dalam melanjutkan langkah kami. Saat ini, kepustakaan juga fokus pada kajian humaniora, digital humanities, dan big data analysis yang banyak dibutuhkan oleh perusahaan nasional maupun luar negeri. Sehingga kami mampu mengelola lembaga informasi berbasis teknologi informasi dan komunikasi dengan kreatif, inovatif, dan beretika.
Kami di sini belajar meneliti dan menelaah berbagai jenis data artefak dan historis dengan berpikir secara sistematis serta bekerja sama secara profesional. Namun, yang juga penting, kami tahu bagaimana cara mengkomunikasikan hasilnya kepada masyarakat.
Lingkungan di sini membentuk karakter kami untuk mengkaji permasalahan yang relevan dengan kebudayaan. Untuk kemudian ditemukan akar masalahnya sehingga dapat dihasilkan solusi melalui analisis dan argumentasi yang terstruktur secara sahih dan benar.
Sebagai mahasiswa program magister, kami dibentuk untuk selalu berpikir kritis, solutif, dan inovatif dalam menerapkan keilmuan yang dimiliki, sehingga mampu menyelesaikan masalah sosial budaya baik dalam konteks lokal maupun global.
Dalam program doktor, kami diarahkan untuk membuat produk keilmuan yang inovatif, original, dan teruji. Selain itu, juga mampu memecahkan masalah dalam bidang keilmuan melalui pendekatan interdisiplin, multidisiplin, atau transdisiplin.
FIB-UI has implemented the Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka or MBKM or the Freedom to Learn Independent Campus Curriculum since 2020. Several MBKM programs for students are, among others, the Dikti Flagship MBKM program and various programs initiated by FIB-UI with partners, such as internship programs at domestic and foreign partner institutions, internship programs in special work units and various service units at FIB-UI, as well as lectures held in collaboration with partners from abroad. We emphasize on the development of human resources through the development of students' potential to enable them to become superior academicians in the humanities. We continue to improve our services and facilities to achieve world-class standards. As for facilities and infrastructure that are in line with the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals, FIBUI has provided renewable energy to support Green Metric UI and SDGs through the use of carport solar panels, wider 5G Wi-Fi facilities, and the application of an electronic document and archives management system. In our daily activities, we foster an atmosphere based on simplicity, mobility, adaptive learning, reputation, and technology or smart to support all FIBUI programs in producing quality graduates with technical abilities, skills, and humanistic perspectives. To achieve FIBUI's vision, we have implemented 5 programs, namely curriculum development based on adaptive and innovative education, impactful research, good governance, collaboration with the industrial community and working world, and entrepreneurship to produce graduates capable of developing the creative industry. We also continue to establish national and international collaboration to carry out various programs such as the implementation of education, student and lecturer exchange, internship, collaborative research, and many other partnership programs. FIBUI has 2 business units working in the field of language and culture, namely Lembaga Bahasa Internasional or International Language Institution and Pusat Penelitian Kemasyarakatan dan Budaya or Community and Cultural Research Center. FIBUI students conduct many non-academic activities that foster creativity, competence, and skills to complement their abilities when they become full-fledged academicians and/or professionals. This is proven by the fact that many FIBUI alumni have succeeded to contribute to their science, nation, and the world. Serving with knowledge, connecting the diversity, international recognition, advancing culture, and becoming a home for diversity.
Now that we are introduced to the organization behind today's event, let us jump straight into today's agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, in this online seminar series, we will hear insight from distinguished scholars representing leading institutions in the region. In today's session, we are joined by Leaksmy Loch Sensei from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, João Fransisco Maia Sensei from Universidade de Paz, Timor-Leste, and Fajar Ibnu Tufail Sensei from National Research and Innovation Agency or BRIN, Indonesia. And now, to lead us through today's seminar, we are pleased to introduce our moderator, Himawan Pratama PhD. Himawan Pratama Sensei, or also known as Himawan Sensei, is a lecturer at the Faculty of Humanities Universitas Indonesia. Since 2026, he has been serving as the head of the Center for Japanese Studies at the same university. He is also an active member of the Indonesian Association for Japanese Studies, or ASJI, and serves as the member of Steering Committee of the Japanese Studies Association of Southeast Asia, or IJSRWS. Himawan Sensei obtained his PhD in Japan Studies from Tokyo University of Foreign Studies. His research interests include cultural representation of otherness in various forms of contemporary Japanese media, spanning popular culture, mass media, and sporting narratives. Himawan Sensei, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fatia. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you for the kind introduction, Fatia. A very good morning to everyone. As introduced, my name is Himawan. I am a faculty member of the Japanese Studies program at the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. And now I'm also serving as the head of the Center for Japanese Studies at the same university. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to the online seminar series on Japanese Studies in Southeast Asia. This is a monthly online event with an aim to introduce the diversity of Japanese studies in the region. As introduced by Fatia, this series is a part of the International Japanese Studies Research Workshop and Symposium 2026, organized by the Center for Japanese Studies and the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia, with the support by the Japan Foundation. Today is the fourth and the last edition of the series, and we are very honored to have three distinguished speakers. Leaksmy Sensei from the Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, João Fransisco Maia Sensei from Universidade de Paz, Timor-Leste, and Fajar Ibnu Tufail Sensei from the National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, or BRIN. Let me explain how the session will progress. First of all of the three speakers will give a talk introducing their research in and views on Japanese studies in about 20 minutes each. After that, we will enter the Q&A session where we invite all of us to participate in the discussion. Right, without further ado, let us begin by inviting our first speaker, Leaksmy Sensei from the Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Leaksmy Sensei will be bringing a presentation titled Learning from Miyazawa Kenji's poem, Ameni mo Makezu, for career education of high school students and university students in Cambodia. As perhaps been understood by many of us, Southeast Asia is home to 1/3 of the global Japanese language learners. So I'm curious to learn about Japanese language and more generally about Japanese studies in Cambodia through Leaksmy Sensei's talk. Before we begin, please let me read Leaksmy Sensei's short bio. Leaksmy is a professor in the Japanese department at Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. She is also a member of the JSA-ASEAN Steering Committee. She has an interdisciplinary academic background, earning a Bachelor of Science in Biology from the Royal University of Phnom Penh and an MA in Japanese Education from Showa Women's University, where she also pursued research in language and communication studies. Her work focuses on Japanese language education, cross-cultural communication, and the development of Japanese studies in Cambodia, contributing to academic exchange and strengthening Cambodia-Japan relations. Leaksmy Sensei, the floor is yours.
Himawan Sensei, thank you. And good morning, Sensei kata, and student. Yeah. Selamat pagi. Ohayo gozaimasu. Okay, let me share my slide. Okay, can you see my slide? Okay, no problem.
Yes, Sensei, it's clear.
Okay. So, my name Leaksmy. Yes, I'm from Royal University of Phnom Penh. So today, let me talk about my research about learning from Miyazawa Kenji. Yeah, I think everybody know Miyazawa Kenji. Yeah, poem. Yeah, Ameni mo Makezu. Okay. Yeah. Next. Okay, why I choose this topic? Because I think our Southeast Asia now Ministry of Education focus on OBE. Yeah, I think everybody know about OBE. About the OBE, future fit education framework for outcome-based learning education, right? As you know, in this OBE, future fit education framework for outcome-based learning education, yeah. Ministry of Education focus on teaching basic learning outcome, the result. So the ministry higher education change a lot of like what to do for student like this one, yeah, providing guiding principle for development or we use in industry employer industry research or something and cooperate with another country or company or stakeholder, right? So for this one, now I want to talk about the 10 skill, top 10 skill in 2025. Oh, why this slide cannot show something problem? Wait, I I check slide again. Why this one? So what you can see a slide? No?
Yes.
Okay, maybe when I use slideshow has some problem, so I use by this one small but can see. Sorry, top 10 skill of 2025. As I show this, we talk about thinking, yeah, lifelong learning, self directional or thinking or resilient. Okay, next. But for A1 quality assurance at the program level 4.0, yeah. The number three focus on teaching and learning approach. And let me say, okay. So about the graduate attitude, student attitude, and with a skill set as I show in this lifelong learner, and a system thinker, not work alone or something, and resilient. Okay, resilient. The next, so the key component of future education framework for OBE. As for this one, please look to number 5. Number 5, graduate attribute for skill set. Okay, so that's one I want to talk to Miyazawa Kenji poem. Yeah, like, okay. Now in my university, a lot of place they put this plate for student to read the university vision, the university mission and goal after you study at university. When you graduate, what you want to become and the result you get. A lot of place at university put this plate. Yeah, this mark. Okay. So next. So the Ministry of Education, higher education, set a lot of something for teacher, for university to do, like transformative curriculum, innovative pedagogy, and holistic assessment. But today I want to talk about innovative pedagogy. Here's my teaching innovative pedagogy. I'm using the Japanese concept ikigai. I think everybody know about ikigai. Yeah, ikigai mean purpose in life. Why your reason, you being. I'm use this Japan concept to connect to my student for ikigai. Okay, I have for ikigai. Inside classroom I do two activity. Yeah, for inside classroom I always teach with my student to use the Miyazawa Kenji poem. Amenimo Makezu. I mean, Abated by the Rain. This below sentence, I will introduce some Miyazawa Kenji poem, Amenimo Makezu, some sentence. Yeah. to introduce Japanese concept of ikigai, mean purpose in life. This poem beautifully illustrates the intersection of what the word need, helping the sick, helping person, the sick, helping person, tired, and quarreling, and how to live sustainably and mindfully by doing it. You know, because now new generation, generation Z, yeah, maybe they don't know about this one because AI or some technology. So all of us teacher sometimes use this to explain. That not only explain in classroom, but we do activity aligned to this classroom. So I depart too inside classroom, and I'm just outside classroom too. For outside classroom, what I do, I lead my student to do some activity related to this Miyazawa Kenji poem. In the Miyazawa Kenji poem, Amenimo Makezu. So I will show some activity. The next slide by photo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Next. The, here is Miyazawa Kenji. Yeah, Miyazawa Kenji, Amenimo Makezu is the perhaps the most famous poem in Japanese literature, written in 1931, while he was battling tuberculosis. Yeah, at that time, it wasn't discovered until after his death. Tucked away in a small black notebook, it is less of the poem and more of the personal motivation to prayer for a life of humility, resilience, and survive. So about the resilience. So what I want to talk, yeah. Okay, next. Okay, let me introduce some Miyazawa Kenji poem Ame mo Makezu. Like this one. Ame mo Makezu, kaze ni mo makezu, yuki ni mo natsu no natsu, sa ni mo makezu, yobu na karada o mochi. This is from Miyazawa Kenji Ame mo Makezu poem. And this one is translated in English. Yeah. Bitten by the rain, bitten by the wind, the snow, and the summer, it's stormed by the body. So this poem, 1, 2, 3 phrase of this poem mean I want to building a resilient professional foundation for human, yeah, for student. After student graduate from university and go to work at company or another place, yeah, building a resilient professional, yeah. Ame mo makezu, kaze ni mo makezu, yuki ni mo natsu no asusa ni mo makezu, jobu na karada o mochi. Okay, so next. Yeah, from this sentence mean carry education relevant. Yeah, the modern workforce is volatile and constantly changing. This line teach students the importance of resilience, grit, and maintaining physical and mental well-being in career education. So teaching point. Yeah, setback, job rejection, workplace change are like the weather, inevitable, but developing a resilient mindset keep you moving forward. Okay, and then yes, the next phrase. あらゆることを自分を鑑定に入れずに、よく見聞きし、わかり、そして忘れず。For this sentence, yeah, in English sentence, yeah, in everything count yourself last. Look and listen carefully and understand and never forget. From this sentence mean number 2, lifelong learning and active listening. Yeah. This meaning like this. Next. For career education relevant, yeah, this line present the ultimate formula for professional growth and critical thinking. For number 1, putting oneself aside represent a new job internship with humanity free ego and ready to learn. For the number 2, looking, listening, and understanding well is exactly what employer look for. Active listening, observation skill, and situational awareness. It encouraged university students to deeply analyze industry trend before making blind career choice. Okay, so next, another one. Okay, then next one. 東に病気の子供あれば、行って看病してやり、西に疲れた母あれば、行って、その稲の束を背負い、南に死にそうな人があれば、行って、怖がらなくてもいい、良いといい。北に喧嘩や訴訟があれば、つまらないからやめろといい。For this phrase, yeah, in English, is there is a sick child in the east, go and nurse them. If there is a tired mother in the west, go and carry herself of the right. If there is someone dying in the south, and go and say, don't be afraid. If they are corn or lost in the nose, tell them to stop because it's a waste of time. Okay. What this sentence mean? The number 3, yeah, problem solving and social contribution. Yeah, CSO. Okay. And next. Yeah, from this sentence or poem, mean career education relevant. Yeah, this is the core of survey-oriented career design. Miyazawa described someone who identify a problem in the community and eventually step into solve in using the skill. So teaching point, the change of the career question from how can I make money to what problem in the world I'm passionate about solving. In align perfectly with modern concept of corporate the social responsibility CSO and social entrepreneurship. Okay, and next. Another one from poem. Yeah. Minna ni deku no boto yobare homerare mo sezu kuni mo sarezu. For this mean call a good for nothing by everyone without being praised. This mean number 4, overcoming the need for external validation. Okay. So this is what I teach to my student in the class all time. And this mean carry education relevant student today first image pressure from social media and peer comparison to pressure just title, high salary, or Instagram able carry. So the teaching point from this poem mean intrinsic motivation through career satisfaction often come from doing quiet, meaningful work that help other even if it doesn't get the praise or public recognition. It encourages students to define success on their own terms rather than chasing societal applause. Okay, so next. Me after I use this from Miyazawa Kenji poem like this sentence to the classroom, and I let my student to do outside classroom activity like this in the weekend, yeah, I take my student go to countryside to general school, secondary school, or primary school or high school to volunteer teaching Japanese or Japanese like what culture, origami, or what something yukata, or somehow or what movie like show movie or something, yeah, and go to countryside, do activity, and come back to Phnom Penh. Yeah, in the middle, yeah, for this I used to do undokai. Yeah, undokai, the sport day that I learned from Japan. Yeah, undokai. Why we use undokai for in year one time? Yeah. So undokai mean want to student to cooperate, teamwork. Just when we win, we laugh, and when we not win, we cry together. Awesome, yeah, hell group like undokai. This and another one, yeah. I lead my student to do some social activity like here for the left side, yeah, go to countryside, buy some bought some book or some study material like pencil or pen eraser, and go to give to countryside, yeah, primary student, and please try to study and be wait at the university, yeah, motivation and give hope to them. Yeah, I go with my student. And the another one, yeah, I lead my student to put some vegetable or what like tree or something for make university green, and we got the fruit, eat and sharing and eat together and laughing and fresh air or something like that, yeah. Okay, so I want to introduce some about Miyazawa Kenji poem Amenimo Makezu. So please listen a bit, okay? Okay.
雨にも負けず雨にも負けず風にも負けず雪にも夏の暑さにも負けぬ丈夫な体を持ち欲はなく決して怒らずいつも静かに笑っている。一日に玄米4合と味噌と少しの野菜を食べ、あらゆることを自分を感情に入れずによく見聞きし、分かり、そして忘れず。野原の松の林の陰の小さなかやぶきの小屋にいて、東に病気の子供あれば、行って看病をしてやり。西に疲れた母あれば、行ってその稲の束を追い。南に死にそうな人あれば、行って怖がらなくてもいいと言い。北に喧嘩や訴訟があれば、つまらないからやめろと言い。日照りの時は涙を流し、寒さの夏はおろおろ歩き。みんなにデクノボーと呼ばれ、褒められもせず、苦にもされず。そういうものに、私はなりたい。
Okay. So Okay, next slide. So my presentation finished. I think student, you can learn from Miyazawa Kenji for your future job, or you can live very peaceful and happy in this world. Okay, thank you. Terima kasih. Arigatou gozaimasu and okun. Okay.
Thank
Himawan
you.
sensei, arigatou gozaimasu. Hai. Hai.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you for outlining the educational policy set by the government of Cambodia and how it has been implemented in your teaching activities. According to Leaksmy Sensei, the policy adopts industry-driven perspective and prioritizes three skills, which are thinking skills, lifelong learning, and resilience. It is very interesting to learn that Lakshmi Sensei implements the idea of the policy in her teaching activities by adopting ideas from Japan, particularly through the poem Amini mo Makezu by Miyazawa Kenji, one of Japan's most prominent Japanese poets, which, according to Lakshmi Sensei, emphasizes the three skills prioritized by the Cambodian government. I'm sure that many of your students are inspired by your approach. So again, thank you, Lakshmi Sensei. Let us discuss more about the topic in the Q&A session. Now, please let me introduce you to our second speaker, João Fransisco Maia Sensei from Universidade da Paz of Timor-Leste. His presentation is titled Rethinking Area Studies through Japan-Timor-Leste Cooperation in Sustainable Growth and Development. Rethinking Area Studies through Japan is our theme for this year. I really look forward to learning from Maia Sensei about the topic through the case of Timor-Leste and Japan relations. Before we begin, please allow me to read Maia Sensei's bio. João Francisco Maia is the head of the Department of International Relations at Universidade da Paz, or UNPAZ, Timor-Leste, and coordinator of the Southeast Asian Universities Partnership for Conflict Transformation, or SAUP. Maia Sensei holds a bachelor's degree in International Relations from UNPAZ and a master's degree in development studies from Samoa under an EU-funded scholarship. He began his academic career as an assistant lecturer and is now a full-time lecturer in international relations of UNPAZ. In 2019, he received the Excellent Lecturer Award from His Excellency Khaira Laksanana Gusmao and was appointed head of department, a role he continues to hold in his second term since 2024. In 2025, he was awarded the Gratitude of Peace Educator Award by Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Life. Maia Sensei is currently pursuing his PhD at Philips Universitas Marburg, focusing on peace and conflict studies. All right. Professor João Francisco Maia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Professor Pratama, for giving me the time to present or share some of the Timor-Leste experience regarding Timor-Leste cooperation and Japan. Very good morning to distinguished professor, our colleagues, scholars, students, and all the participants who joined this online seminar session. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Center for Japan Studies at University Indonesia, or UI, for the kind invitation to join this this seminar to share the experience of Timor-Leste in discussion on the theme of rethinking areas of studies and more focus on the cooperation between Timor-Leste and Japan in sustainable growth and development. To be honest, this is I not quite familiar with Japanese studies since we newly start our collaboration with the Japan Foundation in Jakarta last year. So we were approached to host one of the activities called a Nihongo Partnership last year, and we are grateful that we are invited to share something about Timor-Leste and Japan in the partnership between Timor-Leste and Japan. And on August, I will be share something about the partnership between UMPAS, in particular with Japan Foundation, in the activities of Nihongo Partnership, the research, and also the cultural exchange. So before I start, please allow me to share my slide. Can you see the slide?
Almost, bro. Okay, we can see it now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that since we don't have a Japanese literature studies or Japanese studies or the Center for Japan here yet, so I will be share the experience of the partnership between Timor-Leste and Japan in this session. So I will mainly focus on the cooperation between Timor-Leste and Japan, and we'll look at the role of Japan or what are the contributions that provided by Japan to assist Timor-Leste in terms of sustainable growth and development. So today I would I'd like to explore a simple question to start our discussion or our sharing with a simple question: what can Timor-Leste reveal about Japan's role in Timor-Leste and in ASEAN or in Indo-Pacific? Or can development cooperation reshape the way we understand the area of studies? So I would like to give you a brief introduction about Timor-Leste. I know that you all familiar about Timor-Leste, but why Timor-Leste matters in this case. So Timor-Leste is one of the youngest democracy in Asia and also in the world after 450 years under the Portuguese colonial rule and 24 years under Indonesian administration since 1975 and up to 1999. After restoring Timor-Leste's independence, Timor-Leste has faced the challenges of building institutions, developing infrastructure, and creating opportunities for Timorese people. At the same time, Timor-Leste occupies a strategic position between Southeast Asia and Australia, the Pacific Island region, along important maritime routes in the Indo-Pacific. As the country advances toward the full ASEAN membership, its regional engagement becomes increasingly significant for Timor-Leste. So Timor-Leste's position is as strategically in the middle of two regions which connect the Southeast Asian countries and also the Pacific in terms of regionalism and connectivities. Why Japan? Since independence in 2002, Japan has become one of the Timor-Leste's most important development and strategic partners. Not only start in 2002, but during 1999, Japan was supported Timor-Leste for peace building through the ODA to support the peace building initiatives in 1999 and also continue after independence restoration in 2002. So through official development assistance or ODA, the Japan agency JICA programs, technical programs, and more recently official security assistance framework, Japan has supported Timor-Leste across multiple sectors. If we look at the timeline from 2002 until today, we can see a gradual evolution from post-independence to reconstruction, post-independence reconstruction to infrastructure and human resources development, and how toward broader cooperation that includes maritime security and regional integration that supports through JIVE, the Japan-ASEAN integration. So this evolution shows that the relationship between Timor-Leste and Japan is no longer limited to donor-recipient assistance, but it has become a multi-dimensional partnership. So there are three pillars. The Japan Timor-Leste partnership is focused on three main pillars. The first one is the strengthening of infrastructure and industrial diversification of economic growth. Also, the second pillar is focused on strengthening social service functions. And the third one is focused on enhancement of focus on enhancement of institutional capacity or the governance. Just let me briefly highlight the priorities areas that illustrate the partnership between Timor-Leste and Japan based on the three pillars. First is the infrastructure, human capital development, healthcare, agriculture, and economic diversification, maritime security, and regional integration, or specifically on ASEAN and Indo-Pacific. So just show you some of the pictures that posted on the Japan embassy in Timor-Leste on what they are doing in terms of infrastructure, economic, health, and education, governance, and so on. So in terms of infrastructure, Japan has contributed significantly to build roads, bridges, ports, and urban infrastructure in Timor-Leste. This project improve national connectivity and create the foundation of economic activity in the region, in the country. So infrastructure is not only about construction, but it is about connecting communities, markets, and opportunities across the country. And second is the human capital. So another important contribution by Japan is the investment in people, providing scholarships, trainings supported by JICA for the vocational trainings, technical cooperation, and professional exchange have led to help or strengthen the capacity of government officials, educators, and young professionals of Timor-Leste or Timor-Leste young professionals. For a young country or a new country like Timor-Leste, we all know and agree that sustainable development depends on greatly on development of human resources. And the following is the following area is the healthcare. So in healthcare sectors, Japan has support Timor-Leste to build the maternal and child health services, build hospitals. As you can see that there is a new building that's supported by Japan for the National Hospital in Dili, and the capital of Timor-Leste. Public health capacity building. This effort contributes directly to the well-being and resilience of the local communities. Train young people for the public health services. We have exchange professionals. For example, we have some of the how can I say, student as well as the teachers from Japan to share some of their experience, some of their knowledge to our local students regarding the prevention for public health services. And also the economic diversification. Timor-Leste, as you all know, that Timor-Leste has long relied heavily on oil and gas revenues. So therefore, economic diversification is a national priority. So Japan cooperation has supported agriculture sectors, fisheries, vocational education training, and private sector development. The goal is to create a more resilient economy and expand opportunities beyond the petroleum sector, because since 2002 until now, Timor-Leste in every aspect of expenditure heavily rely on oil and gas. So by the support of Japan through JICA, has contributed a lot in terms of agriculture. As you can see, some of the example on the pictures on the slide that help local communities to identify the agriculture sectors. One of the great example I can share with you is the coffee plantation. So before it was only operated by one of the company from US. So our coffee is not that famous in the world market. But after the presence of the Japan assistance, the Japan support through one of the company called Peace Winds Japan has supported our farmers to to work well. So now Timor-Leste coffee has started to famous. For example, Letifoho Cafe. There are high demands of Timor-Leste coffee to distribute to the international market because of the organic product. But it is, with the support, with the knowledge that provided by Japan, it has helped Timor-Leste to guarantee its economic growth through the intensified agriculture sector. And the last one is maritime security. Besides of the agricultural sector, the tourism, Timor-Leste has also potentials in terms of maritime security, the living resources. But then, because we lack of, experience, we lack of plan how to develop, how to secure our resources. That's why we have experienced a lot of damage in terms of our coral reefs due to the climate change, the impact of climate change, due to illegal fishing in our maritime areas. The Japan has supported Timor-Leste to provide training for our defense force, and also a visit from the Japan Maritime Self-Defense in order to facilitate training for our local defense regarding the maritime security. One of the exercises is called Hari Hamotuk. Hari Hamotuk exercise. Hari Hamotuk is the local language, Tetun, which means build together. Yeah. So yeah, equally important. Japan has been a strong support of Timor-Leste's aspiration for full ASEAN membership. In the sense, maritime cooperation is not only about defense. It is also about connectivity, regional stability, and Timor-Leste integration into the wider Southeast Asian community, and involvement or engagement in Indo-Pacific community. Yeah, so if we connect to our theme of discussion today, rethinking area studies through Japan, and then why rethinking area studies. So traditionally, area studies has often focused on geography, politics, and security competition. However, the experience of Japan and Timor-Leste partnership has not only focused on these three areas, but also expanded to broader perspectives. When we can examine infrastructure, education, healthcare, economic diversification, and maritime cooperation together, we see that regional relationships are increasingly shaped by development, partnership, and people-centered engagement, not only based on geography, politics, and security, but also shaped by development and also people-centered engagement or integration. This is why I would like to share that Timor-Leste and Japan partnership is not only focused on geopolitics aspect, but also it expands to broader areas, as mentioned previously. So the key point is that First, Japan and Timor-Leste cooperation is considered as multidimensional, which combine the traditional and new era of studies, which composed by combining development, security, education, and regional integration. Second, development cooperation can strengthen regional integration, particularly as Timor-Leste moves toward ASEAN membership. Third is that area studies should be understood not only through borders and geopolitics, but also through partnership, connectivity, and human-centered cooperation. So last but not least, I would like to conclude that partnership between Japan and Timor-Leste demonstrates that area studies is no longer defined solely by geography or political boundaries, but it is increasingly shaped by development cooperation, human capital, maritime security, and regional partnerships. As Timor-Leste advances toward deeper engagement with ASEAN community, cooperation with Japan offers valuable insight into how a small state and a regional partner can work together to promote sustainable growth and a more connected in the ASEAN and Indo-Pacific community. So thank you very much for your attention. Obrigado, Barak. Terima kasih, Okon. Yeah, thanks. Thank you once again. I would be very happy to hear your reflections, questions, or suggestions regarding how Japan Timor-Leste cooperation may contribute to rethinking area of studies. And I would also love to hear some of your experience of how Japan, the role of Japan's in your respected country and institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maya Sensei. Obrigado, Barak. Is that correct? Okay. Thank you again, Maya Sensei, for giving the overview of Timor-Leste-Japan relationship. I believe that Maya Sensei highlighted how the relations between the two countries have developed beyond a donor-recipient relationship to a more multidimensional one. Maya Sensei also shared his view on the new area studies, which deals not only with hard powers, but also development, education, and people-to-people relations. And Maya Sensei argued that Japan has been playing a role in bridging the new area studies. And most importantly, I think, in relation with the theme of our event, Maya Sensei highlighted that area studies should be understood through partnership, connectivity, and shared development. Thank you, Maya Sensei, again. We look forward to discussing more with you in the Q&A session. Now, allow me to move on to our third speaker, Fajar Ibnu Tufail Sensei from the National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, or BRIN. The title of his presentation is Cosmopolitics of More Than Human Heritage. Fajar Sensei is one of Indonesia's leading scholars in area studies, and he has been conducting very interesting research from a more than human perspective. I'm particularly looking forward to hearing how Fajar Sensei connects this perspective to Japanese studies and more broadly to area studies. I will read Fajar Sensei's short bio before we begin. Fajar Ibnu Tufail is currently head of Research Center for Area Studies at the National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, or BRIN. He received a PhD in anthropology from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Fajar Sensei initiated Japan Circle, a platform for Japanese studies, and lead More Than Human Lab program at BRIN. His research interests include Japan studies, multi-species, Anthropocene, Modern Human, STS, or Science, Technology, and Social Society Studies, and Digital Humanities. Okay, without further ado, Fajar Sensei, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Himawan Sensei. Good morning, everybody. Selamat pagi. Ohayo gozaimasu. Again, thank you very much, Himawan Sensei, for inviting me to give this presentation. I think this is a very interesting opportunity for me to share my ongoing research. Okay, let me now share my screen. Okay, I hope that you can see my slides.
Yes, I can see it clearly.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. How can I go back to my slide? I think I have a. Let me just unshare share again the screen. Let's stop share. Okay. Sorry for this technical mishap. Let me reshare the screen. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so my presentation actually is not about Japanese studies in Indonesia, but I think some colleague already working on that topic for quite some time. But I try to use my ongoing research in Japan, particularly in Nara, to reflect on several issues and several perspectives and theoretical angles that we can use also to study the same topic in Indonesia or probably even in some other countries in Southeast Asia. So this is something that Japan and Indonesia and Southeast Asia can share. It's the issue of cosmopolitics in modern human cosmopolitics in heritage sites. So yeah, this research was supported. My research was supported by the Japan Foundation, small grant in last year, and in order to reflect on some issues that can be applied by Japanese study scholars in Indonesia and in some other places. And I'm using my research in Nara. I think you all know where Nara is located. It's not very far from Kyoto. It's very touristic site, very interesting, very beautiful place. But behind that, touristic feeling, then we can also learn or to study some other, important more than human entanglement that are happening in heritage sites. Oops. Okay, so you know that you're probably very familiar with the deer in Nara. Some people call it the bowing deer. So when you offer the senbei, then do the bowing gestures, then the deer will bow you. This is the image that has been circulated widely in the global context, and that actually attracts tourists to come to Nara. But at the same time, you can see also in the Japanese public, especially over the last few years, there has been uproar. There has been news about tourists abusing the deer. And there's so many example of tourists doing, like for example, this one was trying to sit on the deers, and some other tourists are trying to feed the deer with senbei, but still wrapped in a plastic bag. Some other tourists kick the deer and hit the deer. So many abuses that are taking place amidst this kind of image that deer in Nara, it's a sacred and sacred animal. So the single gesture of bowing deers circulating globally as presented as cute and spiritual, but simultaneously it also the deer comprises three distinct regimes of cosmopolitics that are embodied into one animal species, and this is actually the focus of my research. The one regime is a heritage regime, the second regime is the biopolitics regime, and the third one is the economic regime. So these three regimes actually taking place at the same time in Nara, and related to one particular species, which is the Sika deer. So the central argument of my research actually is that Nara deers cannot be adequately understood only through symbolic or representational framework, and this is most of the studies of these unit tourisms in Nara actually falls under this kind of perspective, the symbolic or representational framework. But the thing that I would like to propose here, and this is in line with some development in modern human studies, and actually the animals are political actors that are co-constituting the heritage sites through everyday encounters, conflicts, and negotiation with human. So, and this analytical frame, I borrowed the analytical frame from the cosmopolitic studies proposed by Stenger, Latour, De la Cadena, and others, and how different worlds and this context like Shinto cosmology, biopolitical conservation, tourism economy, animal agency are forced into shared compositions without one perspective subsuming the others. And before I begin that, I just kind of remind you that in Nara there are one of the authorized heritage discourse, which is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, when the deer is considered a natural monument, and since 1957, and there are some legal settlements that are taking place with regard to these conflicts between deers and the farmers. So there's authorized what the Laura Janet Smith called the authorized heritage discourse, which sometimes forgets the fact that in heritage not only human but also non-human are becoming important actors. So I will not going into detail into these slides, but just on the right side you can see as the deer as a boundary object, and there is a different kind of there are debates over how actually control the deers. There is a religious custodians, there is a wildlife biologist, and there is a farmer or pest control, and there are tourism operators. So by the boundary object, I mean that the deer body is flexible enough to be mobilized differently by each community of practice, the religious, wildlife biologists, farmer, and so forth, while retaining enough stability to coordinate across them. So this is the deer itself. Therefore becomes a boundary object because it maintains enough stability, but at the same time entangled into different kinds of community of practice and mobilized by different kinds of community of practice. So how to understand modern human heritage from symbolisms to cosmopolitics? In symbolic perspective or semiotic perspective, usually we see that animals as science. You can refer to Levi-Strauss, structuralisms, and others symbolic approach, but also now in animal geography, now there are some movement or development to see the animals as co-producer of place and spaces, and one of the important scholars is Miyazawa Kenji, and also at the same time there's development in multi-species ethnography, looking at the non-human as becoming with or entangled with human, and you can see the Haraway, Singh, Kirske, Hemreich, and Van Doren as the important figures on in this development. And the last one is the one that condenses all of this perspective, expect the symbolic semiotic. It's cosmopolitics. By cosmopolitics, I mean that competing ontologies that are forced into shared world. So we are looking at different kinds of world, how the different kinds of ontologies of the world are interacting and negotiating, and without necessarily subsuming into one word. So we refer to Stengers, De La Cadiana, and others. So again, with the heritage studies anthropocentrisms, I mentioned earlier that about authorized heritage discourse. So the dominant heritage framework, the UNESCO or national law, are built around human values and human expertise, leaving no conceptual room for non-human heritage that are subject whose interests, like survival of the animal, mobility of the animal, reproduction of the animal, freedom from injury, may actively conflict with authentic heritage preservation. So these are the modes of interest, survival, mobility, reproduction, freedom, non-injury of animals, oftentimes are leave out or separated out from this discourse of heritage. They are considered not necessarily relevant for if we are talking about the heritage value. So in presentation and my research, actually, I like to argue against this kind of tendency to leave out this animal subjectivity beyond this talk about heritage. Okay, so just give you provide you a context. Heritage assemblies in Nara to 768 CE, and the one of the important shrine was funded, the Kasuga Taisha, and at the same time the deer are considered or designated as a sacred animal. And then in the during the Tokugawa shogunate, there is a prohibition to kill the deers, and it became a capital offense. And then in 1981, the Nara Park was established, and in 1957, the deer are designated as natural monument by the Japanese government. But in 1985, this is also the important historical moment that there were lawsuit by farmer, and the lawsuit actually resulted in the creation of 4-zone management around the Nara Heritage Park. So there are 4 zones: Zone A, B, C, and C. For Sacred Park, Protected Natural Nara Park, Buffer Zone, and Management Area. But I would like to also emphasize that this kind of zoning policy was brought by Japanese heritage expert to Indonesia, and that were becoming the idea behind the zoning policy related to Borobudur. So as you probably know, that Borobudur also has different kind of zoning area, zone 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then these are actually learning. The expert that the JICA expert brought as a consultant, UNESCO's consultant, brought this idea to Borobudur to create a different kind of zoning in around the Borobudur temple. So this is just illustration and of this spatial description, as a special visual of the zoning area. You can see the zoning A, B, C, and D. Okay, so the other question is who actually governs the deer? And I already mentioned that this is part of the biopolitics that are taking place in Nara. There is a Kasuga Taisha Shrine, the Religious Symbolic Authority, and also there is Nara Deer Preservation Foundation, who actually manage this daily welfare of the deer, and then monitor the population. And there is also Nara Prefecture City and City Office creating necessary law, zoning management, and authorization for killing or culling, and also local farmers that are monitoring also how the deers affect their everyday crop and everyday gardens. And what is really important, the one very major important agencies here in this context is the tourism economy and visitors. And then you can see there is also part of this here, the tourism economy, the Sika Senbei revenue, prefectural funding from the tourists, and so global space media circulation. So as you can see, these are these description the data of this population of the deer from 1965 until 2004. As you can see, that there is a significant increase of the deer, and at the same time it also increase of number of visitors to Nara Park, and that's why the Japanese government, local government, needs to create some kind of regulation, law, legal legal rules to both to cope with this increasing deer population, and also to manage the park. The park, especially the relation between the deers and also the tourists that are coming to the Nara side. So there are three dimensions that in my research found. The first one is that in relation to tourism infrastructures, the effective economy of cuteness. Most of these studies, research on Nara deers, points out that the deers it's a sacred beings. But actually, what I really would like to, without necessarily saying that this was wrong, but there are another ways of looking at the affective economy, not only in terms of sacredness, but also as a kind of a tradition that is embedded in a cute tourism experience. That cuteness itself becoming an effective economy, and this is also relates to the the image of the deer, that the bowing behaviors, the gesture of the deers. What I would like to suggest that the bowing behavior is not actually a sign of this, politeness or reference that are overly reproduced by tourist guidebooks or maybe marketing strategy, but actually it is a behavior reinforced by cracker distribution that are meaning that the gestures most read as sacred is itself a product of tourism co-production. So there is a clear attempts of training the deer so to bow and also to respond to the distribution of the senbei. And this is actually open up another issues in tourisms with related to multi-species labor. The deer's daily performance of approachability, bowing, and tolerance of contact actually constitutes multi-species labor within the tourism industry. And I can, this is something that we can learn and then compare to other cases or debates in Southeast Asia, like the elephant labors in Southeast Asia tourisms, primate performance economies, like in Sangeh forest in Bali, also in general to other working animals in many heritage sites around the world. And this kind of multi-species labor related to the cost, something that rendered invisible by celebratory tourism discourse, the cuteness discourse. Actually, it kind of suppresses the situation like dietary disruption from excess crackers, because the deer eat too many crackers, then it disrupt their dietary habits, and then there is also stress from high density tourist contact, and there is also the injury caused by vehicle collisions, and there is also the horning procedure. So the Japanese government and Japanese authority, wildlife authority, do the horning, removing the sharp part of the horn to make it so in order to make it in order that the tourists can feel safe interacting and with the deers. So this is some of these costs that are mostly has not been discussed or has not been touched upon in most of the tourism discourse related to the deer in Nara. Okay, so the last part of my presentation will be talking about the cosmopolitic. So how do we think of this? All of the data, all of the examples that I present in relation to the more than human heritage practices in Nara. So here we can also look at that this is one of the example of cosmopolitical synthesis. So cosmopolitical heritage practices in Nara actually does not resolve the tension between the protection, sacred zone protection, management zone culling. So there is still going on the protection of sacred zone, but also at the same time management of these of the deer also resulted in a quite not pleasant experience for the deer where they have to, where the people have to remove the horn. And also this, there is a religious custodianship and tourism commodification also still ongoing at the same time. That's why the animal welfare concern and also population biopolitics, it's also taking place in the same time. So the cosmopolitical analysis think and consider this kind of different regimes are operating at the same time and negotiating at the same time with each other. So it makes the tension visible and politically accountable rather than smoothing them over with symbolic discourse. And symbolic discourse is actually smoothing everything, the practices of cosmopolitical practices into one single discourse. And so I think I'm not going into these genetic findings. There has been a genetic finding that actually very interesting to see that, well, let me just a little bit explain this, that in 2023, several Japanese scholars found out that the deer in Nara has a very unique and distinct genealogical descent that are different from other Sika deer. Sika deer is actually part of a genus Cervus nipponicus genus, and then the Nara deer is actually one of the interesting single unique descendant from the original Cervus genus DNA. So this actually open up a very interesting cosmopolitical discussion and related to the current, political regime in which, that the Nara and what is really interesting that the current Prime Minister Takeuchi she was actually from Nara. So there has been a lot of discussion that Nara deer and Nara tourisms are actually representing the authentic original Japanese culture. So this is something that still this is my new finding just recently, and then I haven't made any deep analysis into this kind of cosmopolitical discourse. I think that is my presentation, and then just to give you a conclusion that the deer that bows for crackers is also the deer that is hit by people, that damages farmland, that is sometimes aggressive, that is examined for human fat malnutrition. And these material realities are bracket out by purely semiotic readings. This is where modern human sensibility is needed. Thank you, Himawan Sensei.
Thank you, Fajar Sensei. I believe that Fajar has broadened the scope of Japanese studies by putting attention to more than human actors, in this regard, the Nara deer. What I found very interesting is how Fajar Sensei proposes a more than human approach to heritage by shifting the analytical focus from symbolism to cosmopolitics. Rather than treating Nara's deer as passive symbols of Japanese tradition, Fajar Sensei understands the deer as boundary objects and political actors whose bodies, behaviors, and interaction actively shape the heritage landscape. Heritage thus emerged not as a fixed cultural meaning assigned by humans, but as an ongoing multi-species process produced through negotiation among religious, ecological, economic, legal, and animal worlds. Thank you, Fajar Sensei, again for sharing your insights. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the question and answer session. I'm sure that the three speakers have sparked further curiosity. Just to refresh, let me briefly sum up the topic discussed by our distinguished speakers. Leaksmy Sensei outlined the Cambodian educational policy, which prioritizes thinking, lifelong learning skills, and resilience as the aims of the educational programs in the country. Leaksmy Sensei also introduced how the policy has been implemented by her through Japanese language education by adopting values from the Japanese poem, particularly Aminimo Makezu by Miyazawa Kenji. And then Maia Sensei overviewed Timor-Leste-Japan relationship, which according to him has grown beyond the 8 donor-recipient relationship into a multidimensional one, comprising from education, healthcare, economy to maritime security. According to Maya Sensei, area studies should be understood through partnership, connectivity, and shared development. And furthermore, according to him, Japan has been playing an important role in bridging such new area studies. And lastly, but not least, Fajar Sensei introduced his ongoing more than human research through a case study of deer in Nara. He emphasized that it is not only humans that matter, but also more than human actors, in this case, deer. I believe the case study presented by Fajar Sensei seeks to broaden the scope of area studies or Japanese studies by drawing attention to more than human actors. All right. If you have any comments or questions, please use the raise hand button and we will invite you to the floor. You can also use the chat box to send us your question. Okay, I believe we have one question in the chat box sent by Nurfianto Giar Pangidung. Let me just read it. Question to Dr. Fajar. How does the transformation of nature into a curated paid consumer experience alter the human psychological connection to the environment, and at what point does commodification permanently erode our capacity for genuine ecological empathy? Thank you. That's the question to Fajar Sensei. Fajar Sensei, would you like to address the question?
Okay, thank you for the questions. So I think I would like to emphasize first that this from the cosmopolitical point of view or cosmopolitical perspective, there is no single what you call it, there's no single world, you know, like there's no single ecological world, there's no single psychological world, yeah. But different kind of practices add into this to make it more complicated. Like in Nara, for example, that the as I presented in my chronology of the heritage assemblies, you can see there is a different kinds of influences that are taking place. Like for example, in the earlier time, mostly the concern of the deer as a symbolic, as a messenger of that god, it was becoming very important and very dominant. But recently, then the tourisms came, and then this Nara has been entangled in tourism's practices, not only local practices but also global tourism practices. As you can see, the number of the tourists coming increasingly to Nara. But at the same time, the same kind of concern, the religious and the symbolic dimension are still there. There is no transformation. But what is really important is there is a more complicated practices going on. But you can see, as you see that most of these tourisms tourism brochures, and even a government statement pointing out to this the place of the deer in Japanese culture is always mentioning that this is a symbolic animal, and representing the traditions, Japanese tradition, as a kind of messenger of the god and so forth. So that kind of thing are still going on alongside or together with the tourisms and experience and commodification and so forth. So there are still parallel world are going on, and also the same kind of our attitude to the environment, to the ecological. Yes, some people are coming to Nara. They already feel the ecological empathy, because like myself, I respect the Nara deer as a kind of not only in terms of a symbolic meaning, but also this is represent one of the important bio species in the world. So this is a ecological empathy of myself, but probably some other people have different kinds of ecological empathy, and which is, I think, it's fine. But in cosmopolitical analysis, we have to recognize all of these kind of ecological empathies that are going on. You can also say the same thing with like the Fuji-san, for example. So there are different kinds of ecological empathy, but some ecological empathy are being kind of stabilized as a kind of the authorized heritage discourse. So I think I answered that question. Thank you, Himawan Sensei.
Thank you, Fajar Sensei. We also received one question directed to Leaksmy Sensei. It is from Pratama Wirya Atmaja. I think Pratama, would you like to ask the question yourself? If you're able, yes. Please just unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rimawan. So thank you to Professor Loch Leaksmy for the interesting presentation. So I myself right now I'm researching about a specific integration between a specific principle or philosophy from Japan with another from Indonesia. So I'm interested about the similarity between the one from Japan with some other one from Indonesia or Southeast Asia. So, like for example, in my case is gotong royong from Indonesia. It is actually a global phenomenon, because gotong royong usually means a collective culture. So logically, we can find gotong royong in many other cultures, including in Japan, but maybe with some differences. Yeah. So we can find differences and similarity. So with respect to the philosophy of Miyazawa Kenji, can we find such a similarity in Southeast Asia or Cambodia, or must the philosophy be imported whole into Southeast Asia or Cambodia? So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Thank you for your question. Okay, now I'm just research about Japan and Cambodia, but I think the Southeast Asia maybe have the same thing like Indonesia or Philippines or another country. I think the same. For Cambodia, we have maybe the same Miyazawa Kenji poem, like we call Chibab Kromngoi. Kromngoi is the Japan Miyazawa Kenji in Cambodia. Kromngoi and Chonat Chunat, maybe if you check literature of Cambodia, the famous, yeah. And the Krongoi and Chunat write the poem like the female law, not Eastern law, but phenomenon or what can you say? Traditional philosophy of Southeast Asia, I think. Female law and men law and human law. When we do something like for in the life, I think now maybe the Ministry of Culture of Cambodia and Southeast Asia maybe talk about this a lot, I think. But for primary school or secondary school, sometimes we use this poem in literature. But students maybe they don't know clearly, just what can I say? Just repeat, repeat and say something, but don't know the meaning clearly. So I think we must take it to use at classroom like university for career. I think so. Compare what they want to uh, tell us to connect to social or something. But when we study at high school or secondary school, maybe they don't know clearly about this meaning. Just remember and say, I think. So I think, yeah, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, in Cambodia must take them to input to education for this generation, like AI generation, I think. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You can say, and Pratama for the question. We have one question directed to Maya Sensei from Dr. Clay Keller Eaton, Eaton Sensei from National University of Singapore. Let me just read it for you. Thank you all for your presentation. Thank you, Leaksmy Sensei, for demonstrating the value of the humanities and OBE, and Fajar Sensei for showing how applicable the lessons from the place are for places outside of Japan. My question is for Maya Sensei. To what extent has Japanese involvement in these projects shaped popular perceptions of Japan in Timor-Leste? Have they led to a positive impression of Japan, or are these projects mostly shaping the perceptions of government officials and other elites, while everyday people are less aware of Japan as connected to them? Okay, I think this is a very important question because, we have a very positive perception generally about Japan in Southeast Asia, and we want to learn as well about Timor-Leste. So, Maya Sensei, would you like to address the question by Dr. Ethan?
Thank you very much, Professor. And also the question from Professor Clay, if I might, right? Thank you very much for the interesting question. So I would like to say that at the government level, it is, undoubtedly to say that there is a positive reputation from the Japanese support since Timor-Leste restored its independence back in 2002. Japan has, constantly supported the nation building through, for example, infrastructure development, providing human resource capacity, or through scholarships, technical or vocational training for the young Timorese professionals. Also the institutional strengthening, but also in the other hand, for the grassroots level or the public level, if we can see through, the pictures that have shown that it is in somewhat Timor-Leste people more benefited, directly from Japanese funded through ODA, JICA projects, for example, building the roads that could connect the community and the market. The reality in Timor-Leste, sometimes people cannot bring their products to, access to the market because of the roads, the bridges. So from these contributions or support by the Japan government, I believe that this is directly, benefit to the Timorese people. Besides of the roads, the bridges, and also, for example, in agricultural sectors, the Japan supported, rehabilitate the irrigation, and also from my own experience, because my family is, a coffee farmer. So we experienced that since we received, the support from Japan's government, we benefited. We can see that there is change from coffee's, the price. Like before, it was very low, but since the involvement of Japan's support, increasingly, changed the price of coffee product in our village. I think that's the some of the example that to show or to evidently prove that it has both, support the government level in terms of nation building, and also at the same time benefit the community in the grassroots level.
Thank you, Ms. Maya, for the answer, and Ethan, thank you for the question. We have one other question, again from Pratama. But due to the limitation of the time, if it's okay, I'll just read the question. This is a question directed to Fajar Sensei. It reads, I also enjoyed Dr. Fajar Supal's presentation very much due to my own research related to systemic approach to sustainability and Japanese symbolism and food culture. I especially find your remark on how using symbolism in more than human situations is inadequate interesting. Do you think this applies to all symbolism or just symbolism commonly used in your case study? Okay, that's the question, Pak Fajar.
Yeah. Thank you, Pak Pratama, for the questions. I think in answering your question, I just like to underline or emphasize that this is just a matter of perspective, just a matter of conceptual preference. Since I am an anthropologist always looking for complexity and something that is, we always see that the world is not only a single world. We always see that the world is comprises of different kinds of world, and one of the world is the symbolic world. And this is something that has been emphasized in modern human studies, that when you doing research, or when you are talking about the symbolic world, you often use that animal as a part of the world that belong to the humans. Like in anthropology, we can see there is studies on totemisms, ritual killing and so forth. So, but how to kind of emancipate the animal on other modern human elements into its own world. This is something that is becoming the concern of modern human studies. So I'm not there. That's why I'm not saying that that symbolic words is not. I'm saying that yes, you correctly pointed out that it's inadequate. Inadequate meaning that we don't have to replace that, but meaning that we have to expand the horizon of our understanding about the deer, for example. The deer is not a symbolic item. The deer is not only signs of this as a messengers of the deities, but there are so many other things that are taking place that affect the deers. And these different kinds of words are also taking place at the same time, meaning that the symbolic word also being reproduced and being talked and being part of the discourse of tourism, the discourse of even in a discourse of academic discourse, like what you've been doing in the analysis of the symbolic, and symbolic culture and cute culture. This is part of one of these kind of a world that I mentioned. But at the same time, we can also see that there is a lot of things going on also. So what is emphasized by Isabel Stenger, and also Marisol de la Cadena, saying that they are saying that it is important to see how these different words are negotiated, how these different words are interrelated, and the gaps between this one word and the other word, the symbolic word with the this biopolitical word are being negotiated. And this is part of this the cosmopolitical analysis that I try to do. I try to propose in the presentation and also in my research. Thank you.
Thank you, Fajar Sensei. Thank you, Pak Pratama, for the question. Unfortunately, due to the limitation of time, I will have to conclude our Q&A session here. Again, thank you for all of the three speakers, Leaksmy Sensei, Maia Sensei, and Fajar Sensei. And I will now return the lead to our MC, Fatia. Fatia, yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Hi, thank you, Himawan Sensei. As we come to the end of today's session, we would now like to move on to the closing remarks. But before that, we kindly invite all participants to join us for a group photo. If your camera is available and you're comfortable, turn it on. Okay. We will now start taking the group photo. For the first slide, please follow my lead. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you for your participation in the group photo. Let us now proceed to the closing remarks, which will be delivered by Himawan Pratama Sensei, the head of Center for Japanese Studies, Universitas Indonesia. Himawan Sensei, the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you again, Fatia. Ladies and gentlemen, minasan. On behalf of the Center for Japanese Studies and the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us today. I would also like to extend my special thanks to our three distinguished speakers, Leaksmy Sensei, João Fransisco Maia Sensei, and Fajar Ibn Tufal Sensei, for sharing their valuable insights on Japanese studies in Southeast Asia. I would also like to express our heartfelt appreciation to the Japan Foundation for its generous support, which has made this initiative possible and has enabled us to bring together ideas for developing global Japanese studies from Southeast Asia. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is the final session of this year's online seminar on Japanese studies in Southeast Asia. And on August 4 and 5, we will hold our international symposium in a hybrid format at the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. We hope that the entire Japanese Studies Research Workshop and Symposium or IJSRWS this year will demonstrate the diversity of Japanese studies and show how cross-border networks of friendship can be built through academic exchange. Once again, thank you all for your participation today. We look forward to welcoming you again at our upcoming event. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Himawan Sensei, for the closing remarks. Before we officially end today's session, I would like to share a few brief announcements. First, on 29th of July, our upcoming book review event, Ibuki Reading Club, will be held in the library of the Center for Japanese Studies and also online through Zoom. In this month's Ibuki, we'll be discussing the book titled Japan Rearmed, The Politics of Military Power by Sheila S. Smith, with our speaker, Chaula Rindita Anindya, PhD, who will lead the discussion about the book. Second, on the 24th of July 2026, we will be having our pre-symposium event with students who will be eager to share their insight with all of us about Japanese studies. This event will be held at Sakura Hall, the Japan Foundation Jakarta office in South Jakarta City. Okay, next, we warmly invite you to the International Japanese Studies Research Workshop and Symposium 2026, which will take place on August the 4th and 5th of 2026 at the Faculty of Humanities, Universitas Indonesia. On-site and online participation will be available. We look forward to your participation. And on August 6th, we will hold two events, the Ambassadorial Lecture on Japanese Studies and the Japan Studies in Southeast Asia Seminar. On-site and online participation will be available. We look forward to your participation. Lastly, please stay connected with us through our social media channels and official website for the latest updates on our programs and activities. As we know, this is the last session of our online seminar series. We would like to express my sincere gratitude for your participation, especially to those who have continuously joined and supported this seminar series until this moment. We hope to see you again in our next event. Honjitsu no seminar ni go sanka itadaki makoto ni arigatou gozaimashita. Jikai no ibento ni go sanka wo kokoro kara omachi shite orimasu. Mata oaimashou.
Thank you. Thank you, Leaksmy Sensei, Fajar Sensei, Maia Sensei. See you in August.
Thank you very much. See you on August. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Himawan Sensei and everybody. And see you later.